That's a good banana. What is up, you guys? Today, I just came out of watching Minions and Monsters, the latest Minions movie in the Despicable Me franchise. We are now, I believe, 7 movies in with this new Minions movie. And honestly, Minions, the whole franchise of Despicable Me, I grew up with. I've been growing up with these Minions movies since I was at the age of 5. I distinctly remember growing up with the Minions, having Minions merchandise, having Minions pajamas. I was kind of not really obsessed with the Minions, but I know people my age were, and I really love those first 2 Despicable Me movies. I will say I feel like everything after that has gone down a little bit in quality. I did like Despicable Me 4 more than other people. I think I gave that like a 6 out of 10 in 2024. Other Minions movies, I didn't really care for the first Minions movie. I'm not really a huge fan of Rise of Gru, even though I do think it's better than Despicable Me 4 and Despicable Me 3. I just don't really care for the other Minions movies besides Despicable Me 1 and 2. Going into Minions and Monsters, I was really interested in seeing how this kind of refresh is, because this is a whole new group of Minions. It takes place in 1920s Hollywood. Banana. And early reviews are calling it the best of the franchise and saying George Lucas is a really big fan of this franchise. Like, he loves the Minions movie, so he's in it. And I was like, this is kind of crazy. And that first trailer did look really interesting. So I was really excited to see it. And I went at 8 in the morning. That way I don't have to deal with, like, a lot of younger audiences going to see this, because I have a fear that this movie is going to be one of those movies where people are either going to do chaotic stuff like the Minecraft film. I went at 8 a.m. And honestly, watching the film coming out of it, I can't believe I'm saying this. This is pure cinema. Like, the Minions and Monsters movie is cinematic. I genuinely couldn't believe how much I enjoyed this film. I'm going to keep this spoiler free, but Minions and Monsters is without a doubt the best Minions movie in the Despicable Me franchise. And it's crazy to say that. I'm a really big fan of the first Despicable Me movie, and I never thought, like, I rewatched most of the Minions movies. I was going to make a ranking video, but maybe I'll make a short of it. I rewatched the first Despicable Me movie, and I remember I watched it and I was like, this is crazy. It's so nostalgic. Hearing all the Pharrell Williams songs in it, that first Despicable Me movie is so good. I would compare this movie just slightly above it. I think I give it 1 point above it. This film starts off right away with us jumping into this 1920s world. It shows us like how Hollywood was really big and stuff, and obviously like how Hollywood legends are made. And it shows us how the Minions are a big part of that. And it kind of takes us through this journey of showing us, and I really appreciated this in the beginning of the film mainly. It showed us old Hollywood movies. Like, I'm talking like back in like before the 1920s, like old original Hollywood films, and how they were made, and showing like Minions inside of them. And that really made me into this movie. It made me get into it and lock in, and I was like, this looks really fun. And a lot of the humor in this movie was really creative. Like, a lot of the Despicable Me Minions movies are fart jokes or jokes that are dumb. Like SpongeBob, the what is it? Search for SquarePants level dumb, because I didn't like that movie. If you saw my review, I was very negative on that film because the humor wasn't doing anything for me. This movie kind of was a total shift of humor. It had it still had that Minions humor, like with the Minionese humor, which I really like, the boy stuff like that, like really funny stuff. But there was a lot of jokes that were actually clever and fun, and kind of references to movies that were similar to like a Scary Movie project. There was like a Charlie Chaplin joke, and the Minions were involved with it, and that really made me laugh, because I'm knowing kids aren't going to know these jokes. But people my age, like a cinephile or people that are older than me, are going to be like, that is really funny. And there's just a lot of good humor in this movie that I feel like all audiences are going to love. It's not just all fart jokes. It's not just all, even though I love a good fart joke, I have the fart right since I was a child. I love that thing. And like, I love those types of humor, but it gets old after a while. And I feel like the Despicable Me franchise has been doing that since its day one. So we need new stuff. And this movie has it. I was also a little nervous because we were getting a totally new group of Minions, and I will say I think these Minions are better than the old Minions. I do miss Kevin. I will say that. I think Kevin was a G in the OG Minions movie. But the Minions in these movies, we get a few new ones. We have Dick. Yeah, Dick is a Minion. James, I believe his name is, Ed, and Henry. I think those are like kind of like the four main minions in this film. They're basically trying to make a movie in Hollywood, and this movie really immerses you into the 1920s Hollywood. I really enjoyed it. Like seeing the LA streets and everything, I felt so immersed in this world because in the early Minions movies and even Rise of Gru, we're in like the 1960s and the 1970s, but you don't really feel it as much. Like there is the soundtrack for the 1970s, but you don't really feel like you're in that world that much. This really immerses you in the 1920s world really well. Even when we're not even in LA, we still feel like we're in the 1920s. And I thoroughly enjoy that. And there's jokes like prohibition, women's rights, which aren't really jokes, but they're still there and stuff. And I really enjoyed that because I was like, wow, they're really embracing this. Like the early Minions movies had jokes at like hippies and stuff, but barely. Like they were just there. These actually are big center points in the plot, even prohibition, which is wild for a Minions movie. I also enjoyed all the little nods to filmmaking and stuff like that, like Warner Brothers and stuff. And seeing this main Minion trying to make his movie, he obviously, there's the invention of sound, and obviously Minions speak Minionese, so they're kind of like struggling, and they're trying to make their own film. They need monsters, right? And these monsters are kind of like the big bad of the movie, but they kind of start off like friendly and turn bad over time, and I really enjoyed that aspect. But there's a third party member within this kind of divide or battle between minions and monsters. Like this third group, which they don't reveal in the trailers, and I really enjoyed his character. I forget what his character's name is, but he's a certain character, which I don't want to give it away too much, but there's a third person within like this like triangle of main characters, and I really enjoyed his aspect into this world. And he has a lot to do actually with the women's rights protest, which I thoroughly enjoyed. There's like a final battle sequence, and that final battle, I did watch it and I was like, okay, this final battle definitely seems like a market to sell toys. Like extremely. Like there was certain things where the minions were riding in certain things, and if you watch the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. It was definitely just like, hey, we're trying to promote toys here. Which honestly, yeah, if I was a kid and I saw this movie and I saw that toy at Walmart, I would totally be asking my mom to buy that. And even watching that final sequence, I was like, this would be awesome for like a Universal Studios ride. Universal Studios would be awesome if they had like this kind of ride like this where it's like Toy Story Mania, but like this type of thing, shooting monsters maybe. Really cool. So yeah, I really like the plot, the storyline with the monsters and stuff, and even following the animation. The animation is so good in this movie. Seeing the humans look really well done. I said when watching the first two Minions movies, the Minions don't feel the same without Gru. This movie, honestly, Gru wasn't even in it, and it felt really good. I really enjoyed it. Here are my overall thoughts for the project, and I'm giving this movie an 83 out of 100. Now, honestly, yeah, this is better than Toy Story 5 in my opinion, which is crazy to say. This movie, I might be too high on it, but honestly, I think that is where my score is going to be. On rewatch, I think it can only go higher or the same score. I don't think this movie's going to go lower for me. This is my favorite Minions movie, Despicable Me franchise. I think this is the best of the franchise. I could see this being a favorite beyond kids, beyond adults, everyone. Honestly, for me, this movie is if you took Babylon and made it Minion-fied. It's great. I absolutely loved all the references, all the jokes, the animation, everything about it was spot on for me, and I was thoroughly enjoying it. Honestly, it is in my top 10 of the year right now. Like, I've seen now 62 movies here, my top 12, and I know it's crazy that I'm putting this above Project Hail Mary. I wasn't that thrilled with Project Hail Mary. Personally, I think this movie's funnier than Project Hail Mary. It's more enjoyable for me. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I think it's better than Hopper's in Toy Story 5. This really, like, literally home run. I couldn't believe how good this movie was. Now, maybe I'm glazing it too much. Obviously, I can understand why if people don't like it, if some adults find it stupid, but I just had a great time with it. I had a really fun time with it. I do fear that this movie is going to be one of those movies that is going to be like hard to watch in a theater filled with people or kids and stuff, but I had a good time with it. There was only like 4 other people in my theater, so everyone was really respectful. I thought it was great, but I want to hear from you. What did you guys think of Minions and Monsters? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you like it. If you really like it, make sure you subscribe. And if you want to see future videos like this, please ring the bell in the description down below. And with all that being said, moving it out. Banana.